Let's talk numbers. Globally, over 700,000 people die by suicide each year, and more than 75% of them are men. In UK, men make up 74% of all suicide. In the US, it's nearly 4 times the suicide rate of women. In Australia, men aged 18 to 44 are the highest risk group for suicide. Not because they don't suffer, but because they have been taught to not speak. Despite those alarming figures, studies show that less than 30% of men with a mental health problem seek help.
I didn't even know I was depressed. I thought I was just tired, stressed, angry, but I was drowning.
What male mental illness looks like? Male depression, often worse as discussed, it shows up as anger, numbness, isolation, in many cases, substance abuse.
Paging Dr. Battaglia, call extension 198, Dr. Battaglia, extension 1.
We know from research that men are twice as likely to abuse alcohol or drugs, not because they're irresponsible, but because they've been taught to self-medicate, not self-reflect.
The WHO and him have identified that men underreport symptoms like sadness or hopefulness are more likely to externalize distress through aggression or withdrawal. Men with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, for example often veterans or trauma survivors, may avoid treatment for years, and those with anxiety may channel into overworking, gambling or reckless behavior. So what's stopping men from speaking out?
In my time, you just didn't talk about feelings. That made you weak. You worked, you sucked it up. That was manhood.
This internalized stigma often leads to emotional suppression, delayed diagnosis, and even suicide ideation.
It's not that men don't feel, they just haven't been given the emotional language or safe spaces to express it.
And when men do break down, the consequences can be fatal.
He never said anything. He always seemed fine, always laughing, working hard. We had no idea he was in so much pain until it was too late.
Experts estimate over 60% of men who die by suicide had no prior contact with the mental health services. Many men don't leave notes, they don't give warning, they just disappear because they believe they couldn't speak or didn't deserve to. But change, it's happening slowly, but powerfully.
I went to therapy last year. Best decision I have ever made.
I joined a men's support group. Just sitting with guys who get it changed my life.
From barbershop mental health check-ins in London, the farmer-focused suicide prevention in rural Ireland, the male-focused client in Canada, initiativeness around the world are shifting the narrative. And it's working. In Iceland, a national campaign reduced a male suicide rate by 14% in over 5 years. In New Zealand, outreach programs have increased help seeking among Maori men by 30%.
Paging Dr.
What's
Battaglia,
helped man?
call extension
Peer
198,
conversations,
Dr. Battaglia,
real role
extension
models, and in removing shame from asking for help.
So what we can do? Normalize health check-ins with the man in your life. Support mental health education in schools. Encourage emotional honesty in workplaces. And most importantly, listen without judgment.
Paging Dr. Battaglia,
You don't have to be a therapist to save someone's life. Support mental health educate in schools. Encourage emotional honesty in workplaces. And most importantly, listen without judgment.
To every man out there, you are allowed to feel. You are not broken. You are not weak. And you are not alone. When I was off the mic, people are willing to talk to me about their problems. I met one person that told me his problems about his social situation and how he treat his situation with alcohol. He was in really bad stage in one point of his life, and most of the men I talked to were not willing to talk to me in front of camera because of the shame and stigma that will be brought to them. And of course I understand this. I had a feelings I have to cover it anyway and tell their story somehow. Maybe this is the best version what I can do with it. Of course I will remain silent and keep the professional way. If they will not wish to speak about it, I will not cover their story. But there is more to it. I call social services or services that meant to help those men, and most of the time I get negative answer. I send there many emails and many calls, and most of the time I didn't even get reply or call back, which I found alarming. What if I would be one of those men that need help? What if that will be urgent and that call would separate me from being better and being worst?
Hello, Jim.
Hello, my name is Simon Konia and I am a student of Kerry College.
Okay.
And I called you before and I sent you emails. I wanna do a documentary about a man's mental health, especially for males, if you remember.
Okay. What's your email address? And I'll try and find it there. Sorry, what was the start of the email address again? Yeah, I can't seem to find that in our emails. Maybe you could forward on the details again to us?
Why is so difficult to reach help or information about help in Ireland for men? On paper, there is help. In reality, I couldn't reach nothing. That was not the only phone call or email I sent or call. For thousands of men like me and you, this is everyday reality. And they feel they are stuck in a limbo. I know I couldn't reach anything because many of them doesn't want to, but Ask any of your friends who is in need, and he will agree with this one. We shouldn't close door for men like me, you, my brother, my uncle, or anyone. We should take how people get numbers, good numbers in UK and my favorite New Zealand. So as I previously mentioned, I have talked to many people that are struggling with mental problems that I personally know or I get some link and they were not willing to talk about it. It even kind of highlight the problem way more. We have to use a voice actors with combination with 11 apps to make some light on this problem. It even like show how difficult and unwillingly those people that are in need are wanna talk. Well, the professionals that's supposed to help me, they completely ignored me. But look, I just did some research on my own. And the questions I would like to ask, I somehow research. If you are struggling with your mental health, the best thing you can do is reach out for support. Talk to someone you trust, contact a professional if possible, and remember, you don't have to face it alone. If you are at home or feeling isolated like during COVID, lockdown, try to keep a routine, stay positive, physically active, connect with your friends or family through calls or video chat. Practice relaxing techniques like a deep breathing or meditation. Limit your news or social media if it's make you anxious, and do small activities that brings you joy, like a reading, music, or creative hobbies. You can often tell if friend is struggling with their mental health by watching for channels they might pull away from friends, stop enjoying things they used to love, or seem dispat even when they are around. Their mood may swing between sadness, anger, or feeling flat. You might notice changes in sleep, appetite, or energy. They could look tired all the time or restless. Sometimes they are make dark jokes or use alcohol and often escape more than before. If those signs keep showing up, it can be a clue they are having a hard time, and that's when reaching out with care and listening can really change things. The good news is that change is possible. Small steps like opening up to someone you trust, keeping a routine, staying active, or finding a support from professional can make a big difference with patience and care. Recovery is real, and no one has to face their struggle alone. Global suicide rate figures, WHO, CDC, etc. Stigma related findings, the Lancet Psychiatry. Help Seeking Behavior Stats, APA, Mental Health Foundation. Substance Abuse and Trauma Connections. Successful international prevention programs: New Zealand, Iceland, United Kingdom,